Thank you guys for having me here. My name is Jeffrey Kern, and this course will be about lean process improvement and how to apply the concepts of lean methodology to any business. Before I begin, I'd like to go over some basic course information. The length of today's course will be half a day, about 3 to 4 hours. It starts at 1 p.m. and goes until 4 p.m. with a scheduled break at 2:25 until 2:35 p.m. Of course, as we're all adults here, if you do need to use the facilities, all I ask is that you please be quiet when leaving the classroom and re-entering. And speaking of facilities, we are currently at the If you need to use the restrooms, please exit left out of this doorway over here and take the first door on your right. The restrooms will be across from the elevators. If you are thirsty or if you need something to snack on, there are complimentary bottles of water here on the table. However, we do have vending machines, so exit left out of the doorway, go down the hallway, and they'll be to your right. The soda is free, however, the snack machine does accept credit cards. And in case there is a fire or some other emergency, there are 3 fire exits. Exit left out of this doorway over here, take the first door on your right, walk past the elevators, and please do not use elevators in case there is a fire, and there will be a fire exit on your right. You can also exit out of this doorway over here to the right, take a left through the lobby, and then walk all the way through, and then there will be a fire exit to your left. And there's a third option, exit left out of this doorway over here, walk all the way down to the end of the hallway. There are exit signs illuminated on the ceilings. And since this is a lot to take in, I do have maps available for you. So for the restrooms, take a left out of this doorway, first door on the right, they're opposite of the elevators. And then also, we're the yellow star. For the vending machines, take a left out of the doorway, walk down, vending machines will be on the right. And then fire exits, take a left out of the doorway, first door on the right, keep walking down past the elevators, take a right out of the doorway, go left through the lobby, and then the fire exits will be to your left. And then take a left out of the doorway, go down the hallway, and then eventually keep following it and you'll find the fire exit. And then of course there's some slight housekeeping that we have to do. Please remember to keep your cell phones on silent or vibrate. The temperature and lights have been adjusted to the responses I received from the pre-course survey, so thank you for responding them back to me. The chairs, please make sure your chairs are comfortable before we proceed. And trip hazards, I have marked trip hazards with orange duct tape, and I've contacted facilities to get that fixed after this course period, so please be careful. If you'd like to take notes, there are handouts for each of you on the table, along with brand new pens. And then if there's any question that I might not be able to answer during the course of this presentation, please write it on one of the sticky pads on the table, and then we can put it on the question parking lot right here, and I'll be able to answer them at the end of the class period. So about me, my name is Jeffrey Kern, and I'm a software engineer at Blackboard. I am a Microsoft Certified Solutions Developer. I earned my App Builder certification in October 2017. I am also CompTIA Project Plus certified, and I am a participant of the Happy Valley Launchbox Summer Accelerator Program. For those you may not know, the Summer Accelerator Program emphasized lean business techniques pitched towards startups. If you'd like to contact me, full name is Jeffrey Kern. My email is, and if you'd like to shoot me a text message, my phone number. So, before we begin, let's do a brief introduction. So if you could say your name, your job description, what your expectations from this class, and what experience you have with lean methodology.
I'm Tim. I am a software engineer and don't really have any expectations from this class and no prior experience with lean methodology.
Don George, I'm a staff engineer at Blackboard. Have a little familiarity with lean in manufacturing, so kind of looking to see if there's anything we can glean from that, apply to the software engineering we do.
Thank you.
Esmer, software engineer at Blackboard. Pretty much just expecting to learn more about the lean process, and because I don't really know much about it.
I'm Jesse Zolm, also a software engineer at Blackboard. Don't really have expectations, but hoping to learn something from this class.
And my name's Thomas. I'm a quality assurance person at Blackboard, and I'm hoping to learn more about lean methodology.
Well, anyways, thank you once again for you all for having me here. And I hope to be able to help you guys learn about lean methodology here throughout this course. So, objectives, we are going to be covering the philosophy of lean process improvement. We're going to be covering the concepts and methodologies behind lean process improvement. We're going to be able to identify different types of waste and how we can utilize lean in the workplace. So before we truly begin, what does the word lean mean to you?
Slimming down.
Slim.
Bare bones.
Okay. What else?
Cutting waste.
Cutting waste.
Minimum you need.
Well, I'm sorry, what was that?
The minimum.
Minimum. Okay. Anyone else? Okay, so lean means slim, bare bones, cutting waste, and minimum. So basically, to reduce quantity in size. And these are all great definitions of the word lean. And to lean process improvement, lean is a set of data-driven practices intended to improve business processes. Or basically, it's a way to continually improve, or also known as Kaizen. Basically, when you go to work in the morning, you need to be asking yourself, what can I do today to improve the timeliness, quality, and convenience of our customers with the products and services that we provide? So, how does lean do this? Lean is a methodology that determines what customers want, oops, my apologies, how work gets completed, how to identify the root causes of problems that we might experience while serving our customers, what the ideal business process actually is, and how to improve our business processes. And finally, without any metrics to see where our business processes were and what they can be, how to determine whether or not the changes we implemented indeed were successful. Now, all this here is a lot of work. It's trying to figure out what the customers want, it's trying to evaluate our business processes. It's overhead. So why should we do this? Well, 5% of everything that we do on a daily basis is considered value, meaning 95% of it is waste. So we can go into the office every day and 95% of what we do is considered wasteful. And then we will touch on this definition of value and waste later, but value basically means something that a customer is willing and wanting to pay for. So if 95% of what we do on a daily basis is waste, the largest gains we can make will be by eliminating waste. And as you can see with this red bar here, we went from a big red bar to a shorter red bar, and we did not sacrifice any of the value here. All we did was eliminate waste. So, continuing with why we should go lean, global competition. We are no longer competing with a shop down the street. We are competing on a global market, a global scale, a marketplace with Facebook, Google, Amazon. And that overall, when we have such big competitors, the ones that meet their customer needs the best and are more efficient will be the ones that survive. So we want to cut the waste. We want to minimize and go lean. So let's see some lean in action. Toyota partnered with Metro World Child after Superstorm Sandy to improve the delivery of aid to those in need. This is a 6-minute long video. So while you are watching, please take note of what problems were encountered while they were delivering aid to those in need, and how did the distribution process change for the better to help speed up the delivery efforts. So, quick discussion time. What in the video stood out to you the most? Yes.
How they're able to reduce the amount of time just by repositioning, I guess, their workstations.
Alright, so you would sit there and say, applying common sense, improve the flow, just shorten the path. Anyone else?
Okay.
Then, how did it make you feel?
It took me back to being, when I first got out of school, I was a production worker. And just how you can make things speed up if you're more efficient. Give everyone a task, pass it to the next one, and you cut down on wasted time.
So, just like Henry Ford and the assembly line, about how cars were able to be improved because it was able to, cars were able to be improved just in with the faster build time because they were going down the path where each person contributed their own specialized attribute to the car instead of one person working on an entire vehicle at once.
Right.
So it was specialization and then handing off, improving the flow.
Mhm.
Anyone else?
It kind of shows how easy it is to do the same waste day after day unless you stop and think, how can I make
To
it
step back a little bit and then being able to sit there and look at it as an outside observer versus inside.
Yeah, I mean, you made that comment where it was so much easier to break it down into smaller things, but when you look at it from such a, like outside, when you break it down, it's easier, but when you're looking at it from this whole thing, it's harder, you know, it's so big.
It kind of overwhelming, so
Yeah.
do more smaller modules instead of trying to take a big bite out of something. Or divide and conquer.
Yep.
Anything else? Okay. So, what parallels do you see that Metro Rothschild faced that could be applicable to the current processes that you have here at Blackboard?
Well, it makes me wonder how many times we're running around the floor for everything.
So, instead of, or I should sit there and say, there's a lot of things that could be improved if you weren't waiting around for other people to get you the stuff that you need to complete your job.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's good.
So, free up slack time or reduce slack time.
Mhm.
And then finally, how might you use the concepts presented in your work?
We do that divide and conquer stuff, you know. We try to break things down and makes it a lot easier to
Great.
size out tasks.
Things down. And what else was that? And modularize, you said?
Yeah, it makes it easier to size tasks.
Size. Anything else?
We have multiple people tackling different portions of the same problem instead of one person tackling a single task from head to end.
So multiple attack angles.
Yeah.
And that's actually interesting that you bring that up. You'll be discussing this further, but one of the key components of waste according to the lean process improvement or lean methodology is incorrect staffing levels or underutilization of the skills of your employees. They are your biggest asset, and improperly using them leads to a significant amount of waste. So just to do a quick overview of the video, their packing time from 3 minutes down to 11 seconds, which is a 94% improvement. So look at that size of that big red bar go down. The distribution time went from 3 hours to 1.2 hours, which is a 60% improvement. Once again, look at that big red bar go down. And then finally, their level of service. They were able to provide service to 400 more customers while utilizing half the time of before. That right there is a huge improvement. So, we're gonna do a couple of quick pop quiz questions to make sure that these basic concepts are nailed down. True or false? Kaizen means continual improvement. True. That is correct. Congratulations. True or false? Large improvements can be made by minimizing waste.
True.
That is true. Right again. True or false? 5% of business processes result in waste. False. That is correct. 95% of business processes result in waste. 5% result in value. So, before we go on to the next chapter, lean principles, is everyone all right? Do we need to take a quick 5-minute break, or are we good to go? Okay. And then I noticed you were writing some, were those just notes, or did you have a question?
No, I was just writing notes on what I was learning as we went.
Okay, just wanted to double check and make sure.
Thanks.
So, according to the lean process improvement, or the lean philosophy, there are 5 key principles. The first one is value. The second one is the value stream. The third one is flow. The fourth is pull. And the fifth one is reflection and improvement. So, what do you consider value to be? Any takers? Oops, oops. Okay, let's go back, okay.
Something someone wants. If no one wants it, it's not valuable, right?
Something someone wants. Okay,
But something that someone's willing to pay a reasonable price for.
willing to pay for.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I guess looking at it from an economic perspective, how much happiness it brings somebody.
Happiness and satisfaction.
Satisfaction.
Anything else? Alright, well, we have value, something someone wants and is willing to pay for, and happiness and satisfaction. And would you be willing to add at the right time? If you, a hamburger might be delicious, but if you're not hungry for one, it's not gonna provide value. It'll just be a sandwich sitting there. So, time as well. So, unfortunately, we accidentally skipped through a slide, but value is the ability for a product to meet a customer needs at a specific price and at a specific time, which is all covered right here. And going back to the hamburger example, for someone who is lactose intolerant, an incorrectly made sandwich would not provide any value. That cheese would not provide value. It would give them an upset stomach, something that they would not want. So value can be seen as providing value and then not providing value. It's a solution to a problem, and the customer is willing to pay for it. In that picture there, it was a cheeseburger from McDonald's. So they revolutionized fast food, and that people are willing to pay to not have to cook their own meal. Or if you are willing to go through a drive-through, let's say you are a traveling salesman, that adds even more value because you don't have to get out of the car. You can continue to eat while driving, while going from one client to the next. And then it only provides value if something is done correctly the first time, such as if you order a hamburger that the hamburger does not have cheese on it, because that indeed would be a cheeseburger. And then there's has no value. Business overhead, people want to pay for a hamburger. They don't want to sit there and pay for the fact that your grills are malfunctioning and that you have to have a 40-cent machinery fee on top of the sandwich. It consumes resources with no output. Everything should strive to be as less wasteful when building the final product. Having something that just consumes resources without providing value has no point. High defects or missing requirements. In the instance of the cheeseburger or the hamburger, having a hamburger with cheese would be a defect. You failed the requirement, which was, I want a sandwich with no cheese on it. And then has no value would be requires extra effort, resources, or rework to fix. So if you hand a customer who's lactose intolerant a cheeseburger, you have to go back and make a brand new sandwich from scratch because you cannot serve that cheeseburger anymore. So Did you have a question?
Yeah, so what if, like in your example with the cheeseburger, something provides negative value, is that a potential?
Could you define negative?
Say they get an upset stomach or they get sick from something and they have to, say, go to the doctor. Would that be considered something with negative value, or is that just something that has no value?
I would sit there and say that would be something that has no value. If we're just gonna look at it in a binary, has value, has no value. The issue with, let's say, something happening after the fact is that if it was got brought up to the attention of the business, they could sit there and see which of these processes that originally provided value failed to then cause it to become consumes racism or report or high defects or missing requirements. So if a sandwich made someone sick, it was supposed to be correctly made, I would sit there and say that would be a high level of a defect.
Okay.
So.
That's fair.
So, to identify value, a business must put themselves in the shoes of the customer. The customer is the one that specifies their requirements. They're the ones that specifies value. They're the ones that says this provides value to me, not the business. And this is called consumer research. And there's numerous ways to perform consumer research.